Hello guys, so before starting with this video, I'll suggest that there are different chapters in this video, and who already are aware of those chapters, then they can directly jump onto the chapter below from the description. And who have not watched my SFTR introductory session, then they can also watch that video from the description below. So let's start. I'm Rachna Mandlik and I'm creating SFTR training session for those who are new to this SFTR project or those already working on this SFTR project. So this video is based on my experience within two investment banks, and I hope that this will help you to give an idea about SFTR as well. So for understanding SFTR, it is very important to know that how trades flows from the start, that is the booking system, to the end, that is a trade repository. How this trade flows from various systems and how the data gets enriched and who are the other market participants involved, which helps to generate this SFTR reports. Today I'll be explaining about the booking model and trade flow of security lending products like repos, buy-sell back, and security lending and borrowing. These products are booked under SFTR. There is one more product, that is a margin lending product, which has a little bit a different booking model, which I'll be explaining in my different video. So understanding how these security lending products are booked within financial firms is very important, and how they flows from start to end. So this model will be more or less same within the financial firms, but there might be a slight changes depending on which company you are working with. So here is the structure of booking of SFT trade and its trade flow. I know, don't worry, I know it's looking really complicated, but it's not. Let me explain to you. So this big box here in blue color represents one particular financial firm which we will be discussing about, and that will be our firm, suppose. And then this girl over here represents another financial firm with whom we will be booking our trade. So there are mainly four parts of this diagram, if you can see. That is a trade booking system, which you can see here in a green color. In some of the firms there is only one booking system where all type of trades can be booked or captured within one booking system. Or in some other firms there might be a different trade booking applications depending on the type of trades they want to book. So in this system, trades are booked by the trader or salesperson, and then this data flows to a reporting engine. So this reporting engine, which mainly handles the generation of SFTR reports in the required format provided by ESMA. And then there is this trade repository, which you can see, to which all financial firms will be reporting its SFTR trade data. Then apart from this, there are some other outside participants which plays a vital role in SFTR reporting, and which we will discuss further. So let's start with a basic quick overview of this trade booking system, which is here represented in a green color. So here in this next slide, you can see an elaborated diagram of trade booking system. So there are mainly two cases. Sometimes a trader and a salesperson both are involved while booking a trade, and sometimes only a trader is involved who directly books a trade in the system. So in case 1, let's say counterparty 1 is a JP Morgan, for example, and it has one salesperson and one trader. So this salesperson will communicate and connect with the different investors or financial firms, and will tell them about the investment opportunities for certain securities. So what is the security in SFT transaction? So basically securities are nothing but a financial instrument. Typically financial assets like corporates or government bonds or equity products, which can be traded through various exchange platforms. So once this salesperson reaches out to another client or firm, say for example Aviva in our case, and he will say that I need some securities for short selling business, and for those securities I can provide you a collateral with some cash or different securities. So once this Aviva agrees, then Aviva and JP Morgan can enter into a trade of, suppose, a security lending and borrowing transaction. That is a slab product. If you want to know more about like repos and slab products, then you can click on the top right corner here and to watch my video on it. So back to this slide. So once trade is agreed between Aviva and JP Morgan, then this salesperson will tell about this order to trader, and then this trader will execute this order and book a trade. So trader will input the basic details of the trade, like what is the product, like who is the other counterparty, and its LEI. So LEI is nothing but a legal entity identifier given to every unique firm. So here it will be a LEI of Aviva. Then other details like what securities are involved in this trade and its ISIN details. So ISIN is basically nothing but a unique code given to every security, and it represents the International Security Identification Number. Then the information about UTI, that is a unique trade identifier, which is a very important for SFTR as well as other reportings like MA reporting. UTI is given to every unique new trade booked. So if you want to know more about UTI and who can generate UTI and how it can be exchanged, then click on the top right corner to know more. So other different, so back to this slide. So other different fields like market identifier code, that is a MIC code for electronic platform. So all these basic details, then trader will put this basic details into its system. So it is very important to know that what are the electronic platforms and what is the electronic trade booking system. So most of the times SFT, that is a security finance trades, are booked over the counter. However, it gives a very less transparency about the pricing. Hence, sometimes security finance trades are booked on electronic platforms like Bloomberg or Tradeweb, or there are various platforms available in the market. So these kind of platform which matches buy and sell orders. Every electronic platform has a unique MIC code, that is a 4-digit market identifier code given to every unique electronic platform. When trades are not booked on an electronic platform and instead booked over the counter, then ISMA has suggested that to use it 4 times X, that is XXXS, or XOF, that is capital XOFF, as a MIC code for the European markets. So here traders and salespersons can book a trade in the booking system, or they can book these trades on an electronic platform. So same goes with our case too. Only the difference is that trades are booked directly by a professional trader without involving a salesperson. So that trader will be responsible for all the inputting of the basic detail of the trade within the booking system. So that's all about the trade booking of the SFT products. Now let's move back to our initial flow diagram. So now once product is booked, then its all related data flows down to reporting engine. Book trade data also flows to various other systems like settlement system or valuation system or etc. But our focus will mainly on reporting engine or reporting application. Reporting engine or application is basically responsible for generation of SFTR reports and submitting these reports to trade repositories. Most of the reporting engine generally has 3 modules, that is a report generation, report submission, and exception or feedback management. So whenever data lands in reporting engine, at first it does a basic validation of the incoming data, like if the received data is in proper format or not, or are the file formats correct or not. Once the validation is completed, then reporting engine stores this data in database tables. So now pay attention here. Reporting engine not only receives the data from booking application, but it also receives the data from other parties outside the firm. So here you can see in SFTR, reporting engine receives the data with these entities like IHS Markit and TRAX and central clearing houses and tri-parties or DBVs. So why these other entities provide the data to reporting engine, right? This question might be coming to your mind. So here every entity has a different functioning. So we will look with every entity and how it works. So take an example of IHS Markit and TRAX. Here Equivalent and TRAX is same actually. Both have market access as a parent company. So these two are vendor platforms for data sharing and pre-trade matching and pairing of the trades. Some of the firms are onboarded on IHS Markit and some of the firms are uses TRAX or Equivalent. So whenever trades are booked in a booking application, we are unaware of what this other counterparty is booking the data in their own application. So IHS Markit and Equivalent or TRACS acts as a middleman between the two counterparties, and they share both counterparty data to each other. This data helps us to know if other counterparties are in sync with each other before submitting this data to trade repositories. So example data like UTI. So it is very important for both the counterparties of the trade should be reporting exact same data to trade repository. If there is any mismatch in reported data from both counterparties, then regulator does not accept such reports under SFTR. And if you want to know more about how the working of these vendor platforms, then you can click on the top right corner and watch my video on it. Now let's take the example of agent lenders. So sometimes investment firms decide to book their trades with agent instead of directly booking these trades with the direct counterparty. Then this agent allocate this trade to a various other counterparties, and it sends its allocation to IHS Markit or TRACS or Equivalent. And from these vendor platforms, we receive agent lender data. Agent lender manages the loan part of the SFT transaction. So if you want to know more about what is agent lender trades and how it works, then you can click at the top right corner to watch my video on it. Now coming to a central clearing parties. So what is a central clearing parties? That is a CCP. CCP are the entities which takes the counterparty risk and helps to clear the trade and settlement of the trade. Sometimes while doing trades over the counter, that is OTC, is very risky thing, and as a counterparty may default on transaction. Hence some trades booked with help of CCP, that is a clearing house. In SFTR reporting, CCPs are also obliged to report its data to trade repositories. Major known CCP in European markets are LCH, that is a London clearing house, and Eurex. So this CCP also provides their side of the data to reporting engine. These data are then being reported under SFTR as a trade event and margin update event. So if you want to know more about what is CCP trades and how it works and how this data is reported in under SFTR, then you can click at the top right corner to watch my video on it. Now there is one more entity from which reporting engine receives data, that is a tri-party. Now what is a tri-party? So in a normal SFT transaction, there are two main parties, that is a borrower and a lender. However, sometimes for collateral management and its settlement processes, lender and borrower decides to use a tri-party facility for collateral management for overall trade life cycle of the trade. Managing a collateral of the trade throughout its life cycle is a very tedious task, and some firms don't want to invest their time or resources for this collateral management process. Hence, tri-party becomes a very useful entity for such work. As collateral data is managed by a tri-party, hence by end of day, this tri-party will provide its collateral allocation to reporting engine, and then this data is further used for report generation. If you want to know more about what is tri-party and how it works in SFTR, then click at the top right corner to watch my dedicated video on it. Also, sometimes agent lender and tri-party both are involved in some SFT transaction. Reporting such data becomes a very hard part. If you want to know how agent lender and tri-party trades work together, then you can click on the top right corner to more about it. So that's all about the participants involved in SFT transaction. Now let's come back to the reporting engine diagram. Here reporting engine also receives the data from settlement and valuation team regarding valuation of the securities. This data is also used for reporting of value event and reuse event. After receiving all the data, reporting engine starts to generate reports according to the guidelines of SFTR. Reporting engine also uses the reference data or static data for its report enrichment. Near about 152 trade data fields are reported under SFTR. So once the report generation process is complete, then report submission starts. Under SFTR, all reports should be submitted latest by T+1, that is a trade date +1. So suppose on Monday I book this trade, then by end of Tuesday, we should be reporting all trade to the trade repositories. So once the data is submitted to trade repository, it gives a feedback whether the data is accepted or rejected, that is a ACK or NACK. So sometimes there is a mismatch between the data which is submitted by both the counterparties, that is the lender or borrower, to the TR, that is a trade repository. So TR also provides the reason why they are rejecting the report. For example, if we have submitted with a certain trade date and other counterparty has also submitted the same report with a different trade date, then TR will send us a rejection saying trade date is not matching between the two counterparties. And hence, under reporting engine, there is also one more module, that is a exception management. So this module stores all the feedback received from TR. If in case of any issues in report, this module helps firm to understand where it is going wrong so that it can be corrected. And that is why operation teams comes into picture, which handles all these issues in reports and helps to re-report these trades either by correcting those trades or by resubmitting those trades. So operation team works parallel with technical reporting team. Operation team is very important in regulatory reporting as it communicates with all the stakeholders present in SFTR reporting. In case of any issues in the data, operation team will connect with the particular member like other counterparty as well as these vendor platforms or booking applications or anyone where the issue is exist. Once operation team identifies the issue and its root cause, then it reaches out to a technical team so that they start to develop with these issues. So that's all about the internal trade data flow of the SFT product under SFTR. This video session was just an overview session to give you an idea about how the trade flows from the booking application to the SFTR reporting and who are the basic market participant involved. If you know more about and in detail videos about these market participants and working of these products and the events, then you can refer from my below description. You can also reach out to me on this email or you can comment below. Thank you.